Hey, ladies and gentlemen, all across the globe, welcome to another edition of your Midday Moment with Dr. Larry Carnes, Elder Kevin Vaughan. Doc, how you doing today, sir? God bless you.
Optimum blessing. I'm well. How are you?
Amen, Doctor. I received the optimum blessing today, and ladies and gentlemen, I hope you do as well. It's a wonderful day. If you're listening to this live later on, hey, that's a blessing right there, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're excited about you being here with us today. I'm excited, Doc, about my health, your health, my family's health, Doc's health, ladies and gentlemen. I tell you, that's one for sure, Doc, that I love is that I have my health today, that we can come on this wonderful broadcast and be with you guys on your midday moment. Some of you say, hey, what is this all about? Hey, one word, transformation, ladies and gentlemen. It's just one of many topics, but the main topic, excuse me, is the power of transformation. And we're on a wonderful journey, ladies and gentlemen, to help us grow, help you grow, help everybody grow that listens to these broadcasts all across the globe. So thank you so much for joining us today, and trust that you're ready to take some more notes and ready to share this out as well. Doc, thank you so much for your time today.
Well, optimum blessing. And of course, as we're navigating, getting ready to go into the weekend, we
Yes.
extend the optimum blessing to those of you who are watching. It is the greatest and most favorable degree of God's growth, increase, and reproduction, continuously operating, manifesting, and being demonstrated in every area of your lives. Everything lost, stolen, or forfeited is returned. There's nothing broken, nothing missing, and nothing lacking. But we're speaking about the total restoration of all that God intended for you, personally, for you, when He gave birth to you personally from His matrix, from His womb, from His spirit. And that implies, lets us know that you are intentional, that you're not a mistake. Now, here's the thing that you must understand with that:
Yes, sir.
everything lost, everything stolen, everything forfeited isn't relegated to material things. Inanimate objects are things that we place in this dimension, things that are visible, things that are physical, things that are seen. There are things that go beyond this dimension that enters into the spirit realm that we're talking about. That's been lost, that's been stolen, that's been forfeited.
Yes, sir.
That's the part that deals with the mind and the creativity component of the mind.
Mm-hmm.
There's a creativity component of the mind that's been lost. There's a creativity component of the mind that's been stolen. There's a creativity component of the mind that's been forfeited. So when we talk about the power of transformation and the optimum return, redemptive consciousness, we're speaking about things outside of material things, the sensory perception, because we've been socialized and modified to the degree that we first take things and apply it to the natural of the physical world. When the truth of the matter is, the original intent, we were created as spirits originally. So we need to have the optimum return back to the spiritual component, the total restoration, the revival, the redemptive consciousness is spirit first, because that's where the creativity component of our I amness is. That's where the authority that we were given originally is. And that's why we have to step back and recapture that, rediscover that. And once we discover it and it becomes real to us for who we are,
Mm-hmm.
then we can take it and begin to recolonize humanity and the world. But it must first take place in us and through us. Having said that, there was something I was looking at. And so the power of transformation takes the unknown and makes it known.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
See, because we are renewing the spirit of the mind, transforming the status of the mind, not the brain, the status of the mind, the creativity component of your I amness. Let this mind be in you. Let this mind be in you. Now, the mind is the house, the seat of your imagination. And your imagination is the seat of your creativity. So when you start to imagine and create, I like to say it this way. I heard someone say it once, and it was just mind blowing. And
Mm-hmm.
I've given him credit for it. And so I use it. But we were in a session, And it was used that when God paraded the animals, first he said it's not good that man should be alone. Then the animals were paraded by Adam to see what Adam would name them. But prior to that, he said, I'll make a companion or a helpmeet for him. Then he parades all these animals by. And at the end of it, Adam did not find a helpmeet compatible. So Adam looked at all these animals. Adam said, that ain't it. That's not it. So come and take this journey with me. So then God looked into the imagination of Adam. What did Adam imagine himself? Who did Adam imagine himself being with for the rest of his life? Who did Adam imagine himself being with to replenish, subdue, replenish, and multiply now? The earth. It wasn't any of those animals. Right. So in his imagination, God being spirit, Adam being spirit, being one with God, God knew the imagination of Adam's spirit and the spirit of his mind, because Adam had the mind of God. And God saw the imagination of Adam's mind, and then he took what he imagined out of him. You better hang out with me now. He took what he imagined out of him and then presented that to him. Because without the aid of God, Adam did not have the power or the ability to take it out of himself. So the Creator took what he imagined out of him and then presented it to him. When you tap into the I amness, the image and likeness that you are created in, what is it that you can extract from your mind and your spirit being and present it to yourself in the natural, in your world? See, if you can extract success out of rejection, rejection would disappear. You better hear me, because we've all been rejected at one time or another. Now, rejection can cause me to have a hunger and a thirsting to always get with people. And when I get with people, I seek a title, I seek a position, because that's something that shows a deficiency in me. If I get in touch with organizations and I always got to have a position where my voice is going to be heard, where I need to have a position of influence, I need to have a position of entitlement, that speaks something about me. Where is that? What is it that's causing that? When I go back into my past, see, I have to go back and uncover and discover what's the motivating factor for that. Was there rejection in my life someplace? And as a result of that, now I pursue titles, I pursue positions, I pursue things where I'm going to always be visible. I'm going to be in a place where people recognize me. It is stemmed out of rejection. Let me tell you something, beloved. Don't fear failure or rejection. The power of transformation is to overcome the fear of failure and rejection. Because here's something I want to say. I have this written down on something. I wrote it down long ago. If you process it the right way, rejection and failure will strengthen you. And it will not weaken you.
Amen.
Come on, talk to us.
Oh man, Doc, that's powerful. Ladies and gentlemen, I trust that you're getting this today. Doc, this is a good study today for sure, no doubt about it. Again, going back and listening to this over and over again and getting the gist of what Doc is sharing with us today. But Doc, as I just wrote down rejection as I back into what you've been talking about thus far. You know, rejection is an area of learning. I had to learn that for myself, ladies and gentlemen. You know, when you get rejected, it just means I had to first of all come to the understanding I don't know everything, right? Don't know everything, don't know a lot of things in some cases. So when we think we get rejected, it's just, in some cases, it's just a lack of knowledge, ladies and gentlemen, or a lack of maybe some action on my part to do a certain thing. Or how about this, Doc? How about being prepared for a certain situation or event or whatever? So, you know, rejection can come because I wasn't prepared. And sometimes that has happened. And so I had to go back and get repaired and go back and try it again. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Most likely you will be successful once you get the understanding of the situation where you thought you may have got rejection, but most of the time it's just I wasn't prepared for that situation or event. And Doc, I also wrote down too, and you kind of hit on it earlier too as well, the spiritual side. This is so powerful, ladies and gentlemen. The spiritual side of me, I'm going to use me, the spiritual side of me is more revealing or more real than what I see. Doc, that is so awesome. The spiritual side of what I need that's in me is more real than what I see. So, because sometimes you could say, I feel something or I know something's I know need to do spiritually, but then the outside doesn't show it. But that has nothing to do with it. And if I understood you earlier, Doc, the spiritual change or the transformation of the spiritual change will actually impact the outside world of my world, which is pretty exciting. So I get excited about that, Doc, when I think about it. But the journey is inside, Doc. That's the whole purpose. Everything is the spiritual inside transformation and not so much outside. I was trying to fix all the outside amenities, things I could see and touch and things like that. And it wasn't that. I was not going inside to take care of what I needed for my own life, not everybody else's life, but for my own life. And that, guess what, Doc? Everything else started transforming around me that I didn't even have to touch. I'm talking about the outside world, if you will, so to speak. But when I begin to focus on what I had to do, how many times have we talked about that? What I had to do, man, man, things started popping, ladies and gentlemen, outside of my own life without even saying anything. You don't have to say anything. It just happens. If you start working on you, everybody else seems to be getting a little better, ladies and gentlemen. It's amazing. Your situations even get better as well. And also, guess what? It helps you be prepared for the future as well, ladies and gentlemen, even though we don't know what that's going to be. It's just amazing, Doc. And you always talk about is how we react to situations at times. And I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, the power of transformation through that inside change will help you deal with stuff to the best of your ability. Just amazing, Doc. Powerful.
Yeah. And again, we want to respond because when we react, we react out of weakness. We respond out of strength.
Yeah.
There were some things that I was just thinking about.
Yes, sir.
When it comes to failure, when it comes to rejection, the mindset, the failure mindset.
Yeah.
See, no one can create a failure's mindset for me. I create that myself.
Yes, sir.
No one can do that for me.
Nope.
Now, this is something that can happen. I can allow the words that are spoken by others, if I receive that and allow that to become my truth about me, then I have allowed something outside of me to control me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And so we have to master that, not to allow things outside of me to control me. But at the same time, we have to be mindful that there are things that can be said to me that will be beneficial that come from other people.
Absolutely.
So I have to learn that balance and learn how to process it.
Yeah.
Every time someone critiques me and tells me that there are areas for improvement in my life, it isn't a bad thing because it's legitimate. It's for real. Those are some areas in my life where some adjustments need to be made. Now, I have to then rearrange the way that I think about it or the way that I process constructive feedback, and I need to take away constructive criticism.
Yeah.
Because if I attach criticism to it, that gives a negative connotation to it. But if I can take and say constructive feedback,
Yeah, Doc.
that will identify some things where I need to make some adjustments. I need to make some corrections. It will then eliminate that spirit of rejection or that spirit of failure. But it depends upon the way I process it.
Right.
If I react to it quickly, that's weakness. I'm going to process it the wrong way.
Right.
If I take time to meditate on it and respond within, not without, within, then I can allow the internal things that need to take place to begin to happen.
Yeah.
And then that's how it will impact my external behavior, because internally I processed it. I began to digest it, if you will, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm allowing the internal restructuring to take place.
Mm-hmm.
So I began to even respond
Mm-hmm.
outwardly differently
Yeah.
because I'm responding inwardly
Yeah.
differently.
Yeah.
I'm not receiving it as rejection or failure.
Right.
So then
Yeah.
I stop blaming others, and
Mm.
I don't even blame myself.
Right.
So I remove blame from the equation.
Don't beat yourself up, folks.
Power of transformation.
Yeah.
Remove blame. I'm not blaming others, see.
Right.
I'm not finding an excuse. And
Mm-hmm.
then I say, okay, let me do what's necessary to
Mm-hmm.
transform. Let me do what's necessary
Mm-hmm.
to become who I was created to become, and do what's necessary to do what I need to do.
Mm-hmm.
So now, with that being said, I'm talking about the law of reversibility. And so as you're navigating your journey this weekend and you're doing stuff, start to reevaluate or take an inventory,
Yeah.
and don't fear failure or rejection.
Right.
Every successful thing that we have today came out of failure and came because some part of the idea was rejected. I mean, everything.
Yeah.
People have brought ideas and thoughts to people they rejected. Now, if you're an insecure person or you feel like you just got to be right,
Yeah.
when it's rejected, you
Yeah.
start trying to defend and so why this needs to be done. No, you need to
Right.
go back and no, that's not going to work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now you get all defensive and you try to justify and try to convince people that
Yeah.
your way is the right way. No, it's been rejected.
Right.
Go back to the drawing board, go back to the place of creativity,
Yeah.
and do what's necessary to recreate.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's
And
it.
that first place of recreation, creativity needs to take place internally,
Yeah.
because we need to have a different perspective from an internal thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's reversible. Inverse transformation is the reproduction or restructuring of who you were created to be initially.
Mm.
Inverse transformation.
Wow.
Spiritual transformations are reversible. See, there are some spiritual realities. The spirit of the mind needs to be renewed. I'm not talking about religion. The spirit of the mind needs to be renewed. What spirit do I operate in?
Mm-hmm.
What spirit does my mind operate in? If it's in a negative thing, if it's in a thing where I have to compete, I have to justify
Yeah.
and try to justify my thought, my idea, my way, and get you to see it, it don't make sense.
Right.
But I'm still trying to force it, trying to force it, trying to
Right.
force it. Well, there's a spiritual transformation that needs to take place in me.
Yeah.
Having said that,
Wow.
we can cause the internal spiritual transformation that take place, the things that are reversed, to
Mm-hmm.
be expressed outwardly. Now, when people begin to see a difference in the way that I behave outwardly, they're looking at my behavior now. It's
Mm-hmm.
because there's been an internal transformation on the inside that's caused me to rethink,
Yeah.
to reclassify,
Mm-hmm.
to reorder some things.
Mm-hmm.
And when I do that, it will impact those in my sphere of influence from a positive perspective. I want you to remember to always, you see it behind me, it's the chronological order, systematic approach. When you outlove, you'll serve. So I'm going to outlove you. I'm going to outserve you. How do I do that? By out forgiving you.
Mm-hmm.
See, outlove, outserve, outforgive, systematic order. Optimum blessings. Have a great weekend, and remember to outlove, outserve, and outforgive each other. Elder
Oh,
Kevin.
oh man, Dr. Carnes, what a great way to segue into the weekend and, of course, to enjoy this day today. Hey, this is your midday, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Larry Carnes. And, Doc, that's why it's so important to have the right coach, the right mentor, the right, whatever you want to call it, your confidant person, whatever you want to do. You got to have at least one or two on this journey, ladies and gentlemen. And I love it, Doc, because it's so important to have what I call checkpoints of the process of transformation as well. where we're all learning. I mean, I've already made a decision. I want to go through the process. But you're going to have some coaches, right? You're going to have some mentors, some people that give you a checkpoint, of your journey, ladies and gentlemen, because guess what? You cannot do this all by yourself. Now, you're going to have to do some things by yourself because you're going to have to make some specific, I'm talking about very detailed decisions on what you want and what you want to do. Doc, how many times have we heard when people want to write their goals down for the year? Be specific. I mean, very
Yeah.
specific, all the way down to the color, type, size, whatever you want to do. If it's a house, get the dimensions of the house. If you want a basement, what it's going to look like. Be very specific, ladies and gentlemen, because when the builder says, what do you want? They're going to want to know specifics, ladies and gentlemen. And I believe when the creator says, if you want to be rebuilt, what specifically you want me to do? So you got to know that you got to have some understanding of that, ladies and gentlemen. And your goal, I want you to be in hot pursuit, ladies and gentlemen, of just making yourself better, or in hot pursuit of your better self or your optimum self is what I'm trying to say, ladies and gentlemen. So we want you to be always in hot pursuit of your optimum self in the power of transformation. Guys, it is worth it. It's needed. And Doc, I believe, is one of the antidotes, no doubt about it, to what's going on the planet today. I'm talking about all walks of life, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking about humanity. That Doc, I love that word that Doc used, humanity. We're not talking about any particular sect. We're talking about all mankind can use this particular journey, if you will, for their specific needs as the Creator helps them move forward for His glory and for His will in their lives. Because everybody's here for purpose. Everybody is here for purpose, ladies and gentlemen, and you're not here by accident. That is for sure. Thank you so much for that. So, Doc, thank you so much for this wonderful week. It's been a great week. Thank you so much, guys, for this. I want you guys to share this out. Guys, share it out more and more. And I want to thank everybody who does share it out and support. Thank you very much from the bottom of our heart on that as well. And we appreciate your time always on your midday moment. Well, Doc, we want you to have a great day today, of course, as well, and have a great weekend. Appreciate your time today, sir.
Optimum blessings.
All right. God bless everybody. Y'all take care. Call somebody in the family that don't know how much you love them. Call friends or relatives, people that you know. Just check up on them if you like to do that. Just check up on them and let them know how much you care for them, and let them know how much you love them. Take care now. We'll see you next time on your midday moment. Lord willing, we'll be back on Monday on your midday moment. Doc, thank you so much.